was born in sorrow. That means his mother must have been going through something. Maybe the father wasn't around. Maybe she didn't want to have the baby. But either way you go, he was born in sorrow and given a name of sorrow. Could you just imagine what that would do to your attitude, to your outlook on life, if you knew that your mother didn't want you to come here, but you came anyway? But you got to ask yourself, what happened to Jabez to cause him to be different than his brothers? Because it said that he was different than his brother. So what Jabez had done, he had went back and looked at all of the things that God had done in the past. How God had taken Moses, even though he committed murder and went on the run at 85 years old, and had blessed him to come out and lead a nation of 3 million people out of bondage. And then he had taken Esther and done wonderful things in her life, from poverty to adoption, to being a queen, to freeing a nation. And that he'd taken Joshua, and Joshua was Moses' right hand, and told him to put the word in his mouth and keep it in his mouth and believe in it, meditate on it day and night and do all that it says. I want you to know that Romans 10:17 said, faith cometh by hearing the word of God. I want you to know that Jabez heard the word of God. I want you to know that Jabez responded to the word of God in this prayer that he wrote. He said, it doesn't make any difference where I came from. Doesn't make any difference what my future looked like. Doesn't make any difference if my mother didn't want me. Doesn't make any difference I don't have a father or mother. Doesn't make any difference I'm in a foster home. Doesn't make any difference I've been broken, that I've been torn apart. That he came to God and he recognized that he could have the same power and authority that some of these other people that were victorious. And he said, I'm going to call on him. And when he called on God, he didn't just call on him for a little bit. He said, I want you to bless me. I want you to cause me to be fortunate, favored, and prosper. Even though my present situation has got me in a bind and it looks like everything's going the wrong direction, I still want you to bless me and bring me out. And then I want you to expand my territory. I want you to give me some real estate, Lord. I want you to help me to own this house and be able to accomplish this and do that. And then he came and asked for something really special. He said, let no weapon form against me prosper. No foul tongue shall prevail. Keep me from evil. Help me to be able to discern the good from the bad. Send me in the right direction that I might need to go in. Help me to have a vision and then make provisions for it, Father. Open up doors that can't be opened, Lord. And when the enemy comes and he comes at me, scatter him 7 different ways and bless me to be a blessing to others, that I might continue this blessing. Then he said, and then he went on and says, look, and the Lord heard him. I love what Isaiah 65:24 said, I heard you before you called, and I answered before you finished the call. How about that? Our God, how awesome is our God? And you know what the Lord's telling me to tell you, brothers and sisters, there's some Jabezes out there. There's some people that have been born in a situation that doesn't look good. Maybe came up in poverty, had sickness, doubt, fear, worry. There's somebody that's sick. He wants you to know, call on me. I promise you I'll turn it around. I promise you that when I sent Christ in this New Testament for the believers that are by grace are saved, that he'll do the same thing for you that he did to Jabez. He said that you have not because you didn't ask. Boy, and when you ask with the wrong motive. See, Jabez's motive was right. Everything was centered around the fact that he heard the word. He had enough faith to step up and step out, and it was unwavering faith, because I'm sure he didn't get it all at one time. I'm sure it didn't happen overnight. I'm sure that he went through some obstacles and difficulty, but at the end, I want to say this, that God already had the table set up for him. So I need you to understand that you will lose Jabez's walking around right now. There's tribulation coming and problems and difficulty, but that's not all that there is. Just keep going, keep believing, and keep in mind that Jabez planted that seed and watered it with faith when he gave it over to the Father. And it may not have manifested right all at one time. It didn't say how it happened, but it did happen. And I want you to know this, if you got a vision to come out of whatever situation you're in, just trust God and believe. He wants to take you places that you never ever dreamed you could go.